All right, guys, so we have our last workout for dumbbell only. This is gonna be a leg day. So the first exercise we're gonna do is a RDL. Then we've got goblet squat, split squat, reverse lunges, side lunges, and hip thrusts. Again, with any of these sets and reps, you can modify them to fit your needs or fit the weights that are available to you. These are all going to be for about a medium size weight, a light to medium size weight. All right, you guys, so first exercise is gonna be an RDL. So I'm gonna show you guys a couple different options depending on where you are in your fitness journey. So we'll start with just kind of a normal stance. So the big thing with an RDL is you're bending at your hips, you're not bending at your knees. This is not a squat, this is a deadlift. So I'm gonna focus on sending my butt back like I'm trying to touch that back wall with it. I'm gonna look straight down. A really common mistake that I see people do with their RDLs is they're trying to maintain a flat back, so they actually hyperextend because they're lifting their chest so much. So you just wanna keep a neutral grip or a neutral stance, and I'm bending at my knees. I have a nice flat back here. Weight is in my heels. I'm not kind of coming on my toes, anything weird like that. I have a slight bend into my knees, so I'm not doing this. I see this a ton with RDLs. So just make sure you're not doing this. Nice slight bend into the knees. I'm bending at my hips. I have a neutral back, and then I'm coming up. Now notice I'm not bending my elbows. I see a lot of people do this as well. So I'm coming up. Now, if you're a little bit more of a beginner, you can just go about halfway. You can stop right about your knees while you're still learning the motion. I would really recommend doing these, especially if you're a little bit more of a beginner. I would recommend doing these in a mirror. But another option that you can do to kind of start getting this hip hinging motion, that tends to be the hardest part about a deadlift for people, because it's not really a normal motion that we do. So what I'm gonna recommend is you're gonna grab some type of stick like this. So something in your house would be like a broomstick would be really good. You're gonna take one hand here, just like this, okay? This is gonna help you learn how to do that hip hinge motion. So now I'm gonna bend at my hips. This allows me to not bend here, because what I see a lot of people do when they do these is they come here. It's really, really bad for your spine, and it's kind of asking for a back injury. So you're gonna go here, you're gonna practice that hip hinging motion. You should really feel this fire up your hamstrings or the back of your legs, and a little bit into the glutes, and you'll probably feel a little bit in the lower back as well. Our second exercise is gonna be goblet squats. Mitch is gonna demo those for us. So his feet are about hip width distance apart. If you need, you can take a wider stance. So notice how Mitch is getting just below parallel. Perfect. Mitch also has really good ankle and hip mobility. So if you're not quite there yet, you might just get too parallel, and that's perfectly okay. He's pushing his knees out towards his pinky toes. They're not coming in together. He's got a nice flat back. Chest is lifted. He's driving up through his heels, so you don't want to come onto your toes. Nice. All right, you guys, third exercise that we've got for our leg day is a split squat. So if you have steps available to you, you can always put your foot up on a step to make it a little more challenging. But this is gonna be accessible for everyone. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna take a staggered stance, and you're just gonna go down. As you can see, this is really challenging my balance here. I've got my weights to my side, my core is engaged the entire time, and I'm dropping down, pushing weight through my heels. All right, you guys, fourth exercise that we've got is reverse lunge. So this means you're gonna step backwards rather than forwards in your lunge. You can do this moving if you want, so you can kind of keep moving if you've got space available for you. But if you're someone that maybe lives in an apartment and you don't have a ton of space, you can do it stationary as well. So notice that I'm pushing all my weight through my heels. I'm not coming onto my toes like this. It's really unstable for your knee. So you're gonna drive backwards, push up through the heel. Get that back knee as low as you can, or as low as it's comfortable for you. All right, you guys, fifth exercise is gonna be side lunges. So when I do side lunges with dumbbells, I like to put them up on my shoulders so they're out of the way. Now this is a pretty challenging exercise I see a lot of people do wrong. It's really gonna fire up your glute med, which is this glute muscle up here. You've got 3 glute muscles. A lot of times it's really weak or inhibited in people. So we're gonna fire it up. So what you're gonna do, weights up top on your shoulders, you're gonna step. The leg that's not stepping should be nice and straight. We shouldn't see any of this. I see a lot of that. It could indicate a little bit of weakness, instability, but it also could indicate some tight hamstrings. So if you're feeling like this, you might need to stretch your hamstrings out. So I'm down low, I'm pushing off of the foot that's stepped. Another really common thing I see, because it is really hard on this glute med and a lot of ours are weak, what I see a lot of people do is they shift back and push off that back foot. It makes it a little easier. So I want you to focus on pushing off with the foot that's stepping. If you're not quite there yet, you can do this stationary. So what that would look like is this. All right, you guys, so last exercise that we've got is a hip thrust. So you probably don't have one of these at home. If you do, you can use it. But another option for you is to use like your couch. That's what I typically use when I do these at home. So you'll just find the edge of your couch and you're gonna find the bottom of your shoulder blades and you're gonna go slightly below that. So you should be at about mid-back. A really common mistake I see people make is they come way down here. You can do it, I think it's less comfortable. And I don't think you're gonna get as good of movement, and you might just jump into your back a little bit more. So find about halfway on your back. You can put your weights here. You can also do this without weights or with a resistance band if you prefer. So you're gonna come down. Notice that my chest is leading with my hips. I'm not doing this. My chest isn't staying flat. I'm keeping my spine nice and neutral. Coming up, pushing through my heels. Squeezing my butt at the top, pausing, and then going back down nice and slow. I'm keeping my chin tucked the whole time, so I'm not looking way back. If you guys don't have a couch that this is good on, you can also do a glute bridge from the floor. So you can take your weights or no weights or add a resistance band. One's good. Okay. And you're just gonna push up through your heels. You can also do this with just one weight, depending on what kind of weight you have, or a ball. I have a great personal trainer.